Imagine this. A city at the edge of the Sahara. No electricity. No cameras. No witnesses. Only fire. In 2012, extremists marched into Timbuktu, Mali and began destroying shrines, tombs, and books. Not just any books, but hundreds of thousands of handwritten manuscripts, some over 800 years old. Texts on astronomy, medicine, law, philosophy, even music. The world believed they were burned forever. But something extraordinary happened in secret. Because while the flames rose, knowledge was escaping. When most people hear Timbuktu, they think it means the middle of nowhere. But for centuries, Timbuktu was the opposite. It was one of the great intellectual capitals of the world. A place where scholars debated the stars while Europe was still clawing its way out of the Dark Ages. Today's story is not about ruins or statues. It's about ideas. And the people who risked everything to save them. From the 13th to the 16th century, Timbuktu stood at the crossroads of the trans-Saharan trade routes. Gold came from the south, salt from the north. But what truly defined the city was knowledge. At its height, Timbuktu hosted thousands of scholars. Universities like Sankore Mosque taught theology, mathematics, astronomy, and law. Families passed books down like sacred heirlooms. And these weren't decorative texts. They debated whether rulers could be challenged. Women's rights under Islamic law. Ethical limits of power. The movement of planets and eclipses. This was African intellectual history, written by Africans, in Arabic and local scripts. Centuries before colonial rule. But most of the world never learned this. Because the manuscripts were hidden. Unlike European libraries, Timbuktu's knowledge wasn't centralized. There was no single grand archive. Instead, families stored manuscripts in wooden chests. Scholars hid them in mud brick homes. Mosques quietly guarded private collections. By the 20th century, historians estimated over 400,000 manuscripts still existed. Yet many Western narratives dismissed Africa as oral, not written. Timbuktu proved otherwise. But danger was coming. In 2012, armed extremist groups seized northern Mali. They declared, music was forbidden. Shrines were heretical. Manuscripts were dangerous. Militants began burning libraries. Shrines were smashed with pickaxes. The world assumed everything was lost. But inside the city, librarians were already moving. At the center of this rescue was Abdelkader Haidara, a quiet librarian from a family that had protected manuscripts for generations. Together with local families, drivers, and traders, they launched one of the greatest cultural rescues in modern history. They packed manuscripts into metal trunks, hid them under rice, clothes, and tools, smuggled them by donkey carts, boats, and trucks. Checkpoint after checkpoint. Militant patrols. Bribes. Silence. By the time extremists realized what had happened, more than 350,000 manuscripts were already gone. Saved. When scholars finally began studying them, the contents shocked the world. These texts showed advanced astronomy and star charts, medical treatments and surgical guidance, legal systems arguing against tyranny, philosophical debates on justice and ethics. This wasn't borrowed knowledge. It was homegrown African scholarship. Timbuktu wasn't copying the world. It was contributing to it. Why didn't we learn this in school? Because colonial narratives minimized African intellectual history. Many manuscripts remained untranslated. They didn't fit the story of civilization arriving from elsewhere. Burning the books would have erased this truth forever. But they failed. Today, the manuscripts are being preserved, digitized, and studied. But many are still fragile. Still unread. Still unknown. So here's the question. How many other civilizations wrote their wisdom? Only for history to ignore it? And if knowledge can be burned so easily, who decides which ideas deserve to survive? Share your thoughts in the comments. And subscribe to Chronicle Crafter, because history isn't just what was built. It's what someone tried to erase.